Hi, and welcome to How to Drive Economic Value Through Cost Management and Optimization. I'm Nathan Besh, the cost lead for WellArchitected. Today what we're going to look at is what cost optimization actually is. We're then going to look at the WellArchitected framework and cloud financial management, and then we're going to have a deeper look at savings plans. So what actually is cost optimization? You can see here that's the delivery of business value at the lowest possible price point. What's really important to note here is that it's not about billing or just about cost. It's just as much about the value and what you're delivering to your customers for that price point. Think about why you came to the cloud or why you're looking to come to the cloud. It's for that pace of innovation, for the agility. You're going to be doing more of what you did before, and you're potentially going to be doing things that you couldn't possibly do before. So you need to make sure that you're looking at value as much as you're looking at the costs. So let's have a current look at the state of cost optimization in industry today. Think about the organization you currently work at or an organization you've worked at previously. Do they have a security team or function? Are there people dedicated to putting in place policies and procedures around security in your organization? Chances are there is. Think about whether or not you have an operations team. Are there people, or is there a team there putting in place monitoring, procedures and processes so that if something goes down, you can fix it really quickly? Again, chances are there is. Think whether or not you have a cost optimization team. Is there a person or a team dedicated to building capability around cost optimization in your organization? Chances are they're not, and that's what we need to fix. So what do we need to focus on in 2020 and beyond? As I said before, first and foremost, we need to stop talking about billing. We need to look at the value and the efficiency of what you're doing. Again, you're coming to the cloud to do different things and to do more things that you did before. If your bill goes up by 10%, is that a problem? Not if your revenue and the amount of customers you served goes up by 400%. That's a great outcome. So you need to make sure that you stop talking about billing and focus on efficiency, what you're doing for the price point. Secondly, you're going to have to invest long-term to build capability and optimization. Think about security. It's well understood that it's everyone's job. In the cloud, cost optimization is also everyone's job. You need to put in place procedures, long-term capability around cost optimization. Thirdly, this is a little contentious, but you need to look at short and easy wins as a measure of your lack in capability. If you can quickly find $10,000 of waste a month in your account, sure, that's a great thing. But ask the tough question. How long has it been there for? How did it come about? If $10,000 a month of waste has been there for 6 months, that's a $60,000 problem. Again, you need to focus on building long-term capability so that it doesn't happen again and things like it don't come up. So think about when you deploy your workloads today. They need to be reviewed and need to go through certain stopgap procedures. Think about the review process. Is it consistency across all the different areas, across operations, across security, across cost optimization? Is it consistent? Do all the particular pillars and areas get the same focus? And thirdly, is it consistent across your entire technology portfolio? Chances are it's not, and that's exactly why we developed the WellArchitected framework. We've been working on WellArchitected, developing it consistently since 2012. We've worked with hundreds of AWS experts and thousands upon thousands of customers to develop what are the best practices to building and deploying workloads in the cloud. We've got the WellArchitected white papers. There's pillar white papers and a framework white paper. A framework white paper is the high-level summary and areas of best practices. Each of the pillar white papers go into a lot of depth. For cost optimization, it's about 40 or 50 pages of detailed information about how you optimize and how you think about building in the cloud. We've also got the WellArchitected tool. This is a way that you can measure your workloads and organizational capability. It's a consistent process across your entire technology portfolio, across your organization. It doesn't matter who does the review or when they do a review, you're going to get a consistent understanding of exactly where you're at and where your organization is at. We've recently folded in cloud financial management. These are the activities that enable finance and technology to work more closely together to optimize and predict costs on AWS. When you successfully implement cloud financial management, it's going to help get you a better balance between agility, cost control, while still improving that unit cost, which is that unit of efficiency. So a great example of this is thinking about the drivers that are very unique to cost. Think about the extrinsic drivers. What are the goals? What are the KPIs that are put upon your builders? Chances are there's going to be things around uptime or things around security. They're going to make sure that they build systems that are going to be secure and reliable because it's their job and they're told that's what they need to do. Think about intrinsic drivers. If somebody builds a system that continually goes down at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're the ones that are going to get the call and they're going to have to fix the system. So they've got intrinsic drivers to make sure that they build systems that are going to be reliable and secure. When it comes to cost optimization, what are the extrinsic and intrinsic drivers of your people? If you expect them to build cost-efficient systems, are they actually driven to do that? Chances are there's not. If they build a system that costs too much money, is there actually any impact to them? Chances are no. So the quickest and easiest way to fix this is to start putting goals on your workloads. Take, for example, a web server. It needs to service 5,000 requests an hour or 10,000 concurrent connections. It needs to have so many nines of availability. Also add a metric goal around cost. It needs to do this at X number of requests for every dollar that you spend. As soon as you put a goal on a workload, it notifies your entire organization that we care about cost. The organization then develops a capability to be able to measure this and monitor this long term. So why do you want to invest in well-architected and cloud financial management? Simply put, we love to say it's to save you from paying for things 3 times over. Think about when you provision something incorrectly or there's waste. Each and every hour that waste is there, you're paying for it. You then have to find the waste. You potentially could be paying for a third-party tool, or you're paying somebody to go around and find pieces of waste. Third, you then have to fix the waste, remove it as to what it should have been. So you pay to produce the waste, you pay to find it, you then pay to fix the waste. We're here to help you build systems correctly the first time, so that effort, instead of rebuilding and fixing problems, is spent building and delivering new value to your customers. That's why the well-architected framework follows the learn, measure, and improve process. You learn about the best practices through the white papers and through the tool. You can then measure where the workload is at and your organization by using the well-architected tool in the console. And thirdly, you can improve by implementing the best practices that are provided to you in the improvement plan, and also using the well-architected labs, and open source hands-on guides on how to implement the best practices for your systems. So let's have a look at what the well-architected tool actually looks like in the console. You can see here's a screenshot. I'm currently in the cost optimization pillar. On the very left there, you can see the different areas of cost optimization, the questions. These are the different areas that make up optimization and what you need to be considering. In the middle, you can see there's a description for the particular question, helping you understand what it's about and why you should care about it. Underneath that are the different best practices. These are the very specific best practices that you implement to achieve well-architected in this particular question. On the right, you can see a little bit more information. If you're not clear about what the particular best practice is, you can click on information and get a little bit more detailed information to help you understand what it means and help guide you through the process. Once you perform a well-architected review, you're going to get an improvement plan. This is going to help you prioritize the list of things you need to remediate. You can see here there's a number of high-risk items, there's a number of medium-risk items in the particular order you identified and the prioritization of each of the pillars. And finally, there's also the well-architected labs. You can see here that this is a cost optimization lab, and when we build these, we've got finance people in mind. So this is how you get your people trained up using the tools, developing the dashboards and the different techniques to be able to cost optimize across your organization. Each and every step is well defined. We'll tell you what to do. There'll be a screenshot going along with it. If you can log into the console, you'll be able to complete these labs and start to build capability in cost optimization. So now we're going to look at savings plans. Savings plans are a commitment-based discount where you make a commitment to either 1 or 3 years, a certain level of spend, and you get a discount for making that commitment. If you're familiar with RIs, they're very similar. Let's look at the existing reserved instances that we have. We've got the standard RI. We then introduced the regional RI, which gives you flexibility of the availability zone. We then implemented AWS Linux size flexibility, which gave you flexibility around the availability zone and also the size of the instance. They were the highest discount at 72%. We then introduced the convertible RIs. These gave you more flexibility, more features, but you had to pay a little extra, hence they were at a discount rate of slightly less of 66%. These gave you flexibility of operating system or tenancy. However, you had to make the change and there were some operational costs involved. You can see here, this is what savings plans look like. You can see the operating system and the tenancy flexibility has moved across to the higher discount level. And in the 66% discount category, we've introduced region and service flexibility. So compute savings plans not only work on EC2, they work on other compute services like Lambda. And with that extra flexibility comes reduced cost. Unlike a convertible RI, you don't have to make the changes. They automatically apply to your usage without any effort from you. The other thing that's important with savings plans is how discounts are allocated. We can see in this particular account, we've got a $200 savings plan and it gets allocated from the highest discount to the lowest discount, from top to bottom. So a $200 savings plan will get us about $168 of savings. If we also had another account with a $200 savings plan, you could see in this particular account, it only gives us $86 of discount because there's a much larger amount at a lower discount rate. What's important is when the discounts are applied, a savings plan is applied in the account that it's purchased, it exhausts in that account and then goes to all of your other accounts. So the best way to purchase a savings plan is to use AWS organizations and purchase the savings plan in an account with no usage, no resources such as the master or payer account, or a separate dedicated account that is only for purchasing saving plans. If you purchase a savings plan in this account, you can see that it virtually brings across the highest discounts so that a $200 savings plan will give you the most amount of savings at about $228. So always purchase your savings plans in an account with no usage. It'll then add up the biggest discounts across your entire AWS organization and you get the best value from it. So there is a downside to the flexibility, and when we think about valid recommendations, we'll look at a very specific example. If you've got 30 instances of X1E large running at 100% utilization, that's going to be the on-demand cost, that will be the savings plan cost. You're going to get a discount of about $7,000 or 38%, which is a great discount that most customers would definitely purchase. If you also had a single X1E 32 extra large running at only 63% utilization, on-demand cost would be a little over $12,000 and the savings plan again would be a little bit over $12,000. You can see here that there is a saving. That particular example, there's a very small saving, but there is still a saving. So that would be a valid recommendation. If that's what you are running, it would be cheaper to get a savings plan, hence it's a valid recommendation that is made. Whether or not you would want to purchase a savings plan that gives you 2% discount, maybe not. Here's the important thing. So they are both the same family. They're both the X1E family. So the valid recommendation of a savings plan for this particular family is going to be $23,000 and you're going to save about 23%. That looks like an okay discount, but half of that savings plan is the much higher 38% and half of it's the much lower 2% discount. So it's really critical you understand what's inside of the savings plan and what actually makes up that plan. I performed a lot of research around reserved instances and commitment-based discounts to be able to understand what's a good recommendation versus what's actually a valid and what customers should be choosing. The first thing is to select the lowest point of sustained usage or spend. So if you look at your utilization, if this is what your utilization looked like throughout the month, it was going up and down. The best and the most valid recommendation would be that line right at 100, that green line there. That will give you the cheapest overall outcome for that very specific usage. But your usage may change. So you look for the lowest sustained point. That's going to be the lowest point, but it's a very short spike, so you ignore that. That's going to be your lowest point of sustained usage. That's what you should select when purchasing recommendations of savings plan or reserved instances. The second point, you want to look for a steady or a positive trend. If this is what your usage looked like for the month, steady at 100, then dropped off. Again, the best recommendation would be 100. But what's it going to look like next month? Is it going to continue at that low point, or is it going to go back up again? Make sure you select recommendations that are for usage that is steady or increasing over the time period you select for analysis. Thirdly, you want to be able to pay off the investment in 9 months. If it takes just less than 12 months to pay off the investment of a savings plan or a reserved instance, if anything changes before that, you haven't paid it off and you'll be at risk. The sooner something pays itself off, the less risk there is. The magic number is about 9 months. So if you can pay off the savings plan or the reserved instance in 9 months, that's what you should be selecting. The significant instance count. If you have 10 instances running, you turn off 5, half your usage is gone. If you've got 100 instances and you turn off 5, only 5% of your usage is gone. So what's going to be significant to your organization is going to vary. You need to understand what's the chance of a lot of my usage being turned on or off. Understand what that number is to your organization and make sure if a recommendation is for a small number of instances, maybe it's not best to choose that at the point in time. And thirdly, always purchase small amounts in increments over time. Your workloads in your organization are going to evolve over time. You need to make purchases over time as well. So a great and quick and easy way to do this is to purchase half or a quarter of the recommendation, wait a couple of weeks, do a reanalysis and make another purchase. That's a great low risk strategy to be able to make purchases over time. I mentioned before we've got the WellArchitected labs and we've just released a lab around savings plans. So this is a screenshot of the dashboard that you actually get to create with your usage and with the AWS pricing. It takes the pricing, combines it with your usage, and gives you a unique view of your usage at a savings plans rate. You can filter by region, by operating system. You can look at different instance families. You can see there, you get the recommendation of savings plans. That's that lowest point of sustained usage already calculated. It can be green, it can be yellow, it can be red, depending on whether or not it's worth purchasing. We can also highlight and change the color through conditional formatting of the discount rate. So if you set a business rule, only purchase a savings plan if it gives me more than 10% discount, then you can set that to be red if it's less or equal to 10%. We've also got the trend there as well. So if it's a positive or a steady trend, it'll be green. It'll be yellow or red if it's declining. And you've also got the instance count that you can set. So if you want to set the number of instances to a minimum of 10, if it's less than that, then it's going to come up as being red. So it's a great dashboard to instantly understand how you want to make a purchase and what's going to be the correct purchase that suits your organization and your business rules. The other great thing that the lab does is it helps you understand how the discounts are going to be allocated in your organization. Because it's mixed your usage with the savings plans rate, you can get a view of your bill that looks like savings plans. So we can see here, here's a quick snapshot, each and every hour, hour by hour, what your bill would have been if there were savings plans applied. So this helps you purchase savings plans to get the best possible value and then redistribute the benefit how you want to according to your business rules. Where would have that discount have gone? This gives you that exact view. So jump online, have a look at WellArchitectedLabs.com and have a look at the Savings Plans Lab. Thank you very much.
I started with Solution Architect Associate and then SysOps Administrator Associate. My journey towards SysOps Administrator Associate came out when I was trying to build a solution. Then suddenly I it came out like it is going to cost me a huge bill. That's where the SysOps Administrator Associate gives that kind of knowledge. Day to day, most of the administrators spend a lot of time on fixing the application issues, where the SysOps Administrator, particularly on a AWS platform, will give much more insights how to troubleshoot and fix the application side. So definitely it's worth spending some time to do the multiple certifications.